Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. I've got a special guest here today for you. We're going to talk about personal fitness here in Las Vegas. And I have a guest, which is Janis Gillham Grady's daughter-in-law, Megan Grady. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy the show. Here we go. Hi, everybody, again. Like I said, this is Las Vegas Travel and More. My name is Mark Fisher, and it's going to also, the replay is going to be on our other channel, Peeling the Onion. And I want to welcome you here on this Sunday, and thank you for being here. This is going to be a live stream, so you can ask questions in the chat. You can also super chat us, super thank us, anything like that you want to do. And we'll have a lot of fun. I think you're going to enjoy my guest today. And before I get started here, I just wanted to mention after last week's show, I had the family reunion with my cousins last week that I talked about on my show. And this one, after I had the show last Sunday, I actually took three of my mom's nieces and my cousins over to see her at her group home. And I just wanted to share a few photos of that. This is my mother there sitting there in the middle. She's going to be 94 years old in September. And of course, there's me in the back. On the left is my cousin Nancy. And then standing with me next is my cousin Angela. And then on the right is my cousin Stephanie. And we had a lot of fun. Stephanie brought a box of old family photographs that her dad had. He passed away, of course, several years ago. And my mother's the last living of 9 children. And so she brought a bunch of photographs, and we had fun going through them and looking at these old photographs of her growing up in North Dakota, some of which she had never seen. And I just wanted to share this one here. This is a photograph of her. She can't remember where this was taken, but she looks like a movie star there. She's holding like from the 40s and 50s. And we figured out afterwards that we think that's her college graduation photograph. She graduated from San Diego State University in like 1955 or something like that. So that's what we figured that photograph is. But she really enjoyed seeing her nieces and the photographs and that type of thing. So that was kind of a fun way to wrap that up, our little family reunion. And now it's time to get to my guest. And here she is. This is Megan Grady. Okay. I want to introduce her to you. She is a personal trainer here in Las Vegas. She's been a strength and weightlifting coach since 2012. She competed as a weightlifter as well. And she's also the daughter-in-law of my co-host on my other channel, Janis Gillham Grady. And I just wanted to bring her on, and we're going to talk about living in Las Vegas and her life here and her personal fitness and all that. So without further ado, let me introduce Megan Grady. Hold on here. Hi, Megan. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy that you could be on the show with us today. How's life going today on this fabulous Sunday?
It was great. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Happy to be here. I'm so happy that you invited me. So thank you.
No, it's great. I'm glad to have you here. Like I said, you weren't born here in Las Vegas, but you moved here. How long ago did you get here to Las Vegas?
So I moved here in 2018 in August. So it was pretty hot. I remember that. So it's been almost like 6 years now. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's great. And then where'd you grow up?
So I was born in England, but we moved to the States pretty quickly afterwards. I don't really remember any of it. But I lived in a few different places like New Mexico, Indiana, but I grew up most of my life in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I wanted to mention here, of course, Megan is married to Janis's son, John Grady. And here's a picture of them. This is at their wedding. And this was down in Florida, right, when you guys got married?
Yes. Yeah, it was Southwest Florida.
What was it like? How did you have a lot of people? What was the wedding like?
Yeah, it was really nice. It was an amazing experience. We did it we're in Southwest Florida in a place called Naples, and that's where my grandparents and I have some other family that live there. I obviously grew up in Florida or in Orlando, but we would go down there very regularly to visit family. So it was very familiar place.
That's great. That's great. Anyway, I've known John since the day he was born. I mean, her parents and I shared a two-bedroom apartment with uh, Janis's sister Terry and her husband Fernando when we first left Scientology. And then Janis was pregnant at the time with John. And then when it was getting close to the time that she was going to have John, I got an apartment upstairs. So I was upstairs because John was born with a midwife there in the apartment that they lived in. And so I've known him all his life. And I used to babysit him and his sister Erin too, which is funny. All right. Well, so you were a competitive weightlifter, is that right?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about that. When did you start, and what was the interest in doing weightlifting?
Yeah, so I got very fortunate that my dad got me involved. I was always very involved in sports. I wanted to, do lots of activities when I was younger. And I was really into cheerleading at the time. And my dad actually contacted the high school weightlifting coach for my older brother. And the coach was actually more interested in me because he did the girls weightlifting team.
Uh-huh.
And I guess he just enjoyed training the girls more. So that's how I kind of got into it. I started training with him over the summer. And then a few months later, my first competition was a qualifying competition for youth nationals. So, and then
How old were you then when you
I was
started?
14.
No kidding. Oh, here, I'll show you some pictures here, right? This is
Mhm.
when you were back in the day when you were competing, is that right?
Yeah, I was 18 in that photo.
Okay, that's cool. I don't know what years these are, but I was going to show people the weightlifting. Now, can you explain what is competitive weightlifting? Like, how does it work? I don't actually know the sport that well.
Yeah, so there's lots of different types of weightlifting. What I specialized in was Olympic weightlifting. So that's like a top of a snatch position. So there's two different lifts. There's the snatch, and then there's the clean and
Uh-huh.
jerk. And you have 3 lifts for each, and then your like highest number for each one is your total. And depending on your body weight and your weight class, that's who wins, like who has the highest numbers for both of those lifts combined.
And how difficult is it? Obviously, I mean, you have to get really strong, but I mean, I take it the workouts are pretty intense when you're learning how to do that, huh?
Yeah, the technique is a huge learning curve. It takes a lot of patience to learn it. It's definitely not something you get good at fast, like any sport, really. You have to be super persistent. Yeah, it was like one of the best things that really happened to me because it really kind of helped shape me who I am. Um, I definitely became a very hard worker from it, so that was great.
I'm sure it takes a lot. It's a lot of discipline, right?
Yes, tremendous amount of discipline. I've done more meets than I could even possibly count, but you are in a weight class, so you have to make sure that you weigh in under a certain, number, depending on what your weight class is. So you have to sometimes like cut weight, and that's another battle in itself. So
Hmm. I wanted to mention that there's your mother-in-law's here, Janis Gillham Grady. Love that photo. Hi, Janice. Thanks for being here. Let's see. I think I have one more. No, I just have that's the last one. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the weightlifting. Okay, so where did you train? Was it like at your high school, or did you have like a club that you went to, or how did it work?
So throughout the years, I trained at multiple different locations, but where I first started with my first coach was at the high school. But I wasn't even in high school yet. I was still in middle school when I started working out at the high school. So by the time I was a freshman, I was doing pretty good. So
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I have one of my closest friends who lives in Houston, Texas. Her name is Monica. Her daughter is in college, and when she became a freshman in college, she started getting into competitive weightlifting. I mean, it's just like out of the blue, and she was like surprised, and I was too. I'm like, really? So so I guess there's quite a draw for it. I asked her, I said, what did you like about it? And she just liked the fact that she was able to do it. Like it was, there was a little bit of a rush of being able to get the weights up and all that, but it was something that she felt like she could do well at. So I want to shout out my friend Monica and her daughter Olivia. They're probably going to watch this on replay, but I just wanted to mention that.
yeah. I know weightlifting is a really great complement to a lot of sports. That's kind of actually why I started it. It was
Mhm.
to improve my cheerleading, and then I ended up liking the weightlifting better, so I stuck with that.
Now, would you travel around the country or to different meets and things like that?
Yes, every single year we would go somewhere. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, we did. There would be youth nationals, and by the time I turned, I believe it was 17. You're no longer youth. So then I did junior nationals, and then there's senior nationals, and then I also had the opportunity to represent Team USA in Peru in 2011 at World. So that was a great experience.
That's great. That's great. And now, how about, okay, obviously this takes a lot of determination up there. Is it easy to get injured? Like, do you have to be careful, obviously, when you're doing this, right?
Yes, it's extremely easy to get injured. I had multiple injuries, and you just have to be smart, get a lot of rehab. Like if you need to strengthen, if you're starting to get issues in your hip or something, you need to get a lot of corrective exercises to strengthen all those smaller muscles. I've seen people get injured all the time. I unfortunately had a friend, and she was my roommate actually in college, and she had multiple surgeries. I fortunately never had any. I remember my dad said, if you ever have to have a surgery, you're not doing it anymore. So we stuck to that rule. But yeah, my other friend, she had hip surgery and elbow surgery. So it's pretty, risky and intense in that regard.
That's great. And then when did you finish competing? How old were you then?
I was 23 when I did my last local competition. I was probably 21 when I did my last national competition because I hurt my back when I was 21, and that kind of put me out permanently. I tried to come back. It was pretty devastating that I got hurt because I was such a high level, but it happens. So
I understand. We've got somebody, Elizabeth is in the house here, and she asks, are there scholarships for weightlifting?
There were, at least when I was in weightlifting, I had a full ride scholarship at ETSU, Eastern Tennessee State University. It's in Johnson City. At the time they had an Olympic weightlifting site. And yeah, I got pretty lucky that I got that, but I don't really know. I know they had them at LSU. They had one in Michigan. I considered all of them that were available. So I know that they had them then. I'm not too sure about now.
Okay. All right, great. And then I wanted to mention that this is where you graduated from college, right? Where did you go to school?
Yes. So like I said, after high school, I went immediately to ETSU. I stayed for one semester. I wasn't really too happy with how the programming was or the coaches. So I actually came back home to Orlando, and I finished out at UCF, University of Central Florida.
Central Florida, right.
I was okay with it.
It's one of the biggest universities in Florida too, from what I understand, right? Yes. I mean, you got Florida State and University of Florida, but I've heard that Central Florida has more students than any of the other universities.
Yeah, it's a massive campus. Yeah, I am really happy I got to go there.
That's great. Okay, well then we're going to talk a little bit about how did you get into personal training? You do that here in Las Vegas, and did you start in Florida, or how did that work out?
So in Florida, I started my first coaching job at 17, so I was still in high school. And then fast forward to when I moved here in 2020 or 2019, actually, I got my personal training certification because my boss at the gym I was working at asked me to get it for liability reasons. Insurance reasons. And so I got it. And then I started doing some personal training with him. He gave me some clients, and then COVID happened and everything shut down and a bunch of other stuff happened, but I have to have it for even where I work today. So it's pretty common for people to need a personal training certification for positions.
And then where this is you're at Lifetime Fitness here in Las Vegas, or where do you work?
Yes, it's a Lifetime in Summerlin. There's two locations here in Vegas. There's Green Valley and Henderson, and there's the Summerlin one on Charleston. And they're actually going to be building a new one on the 215 in Durango by the new beautiful hotel, the Durango Hotel. So it's going to be right across from Durango.
And not far from where you live, too. I mean, you live out in that area, too. That must be nice.
Yes, it'll be great when it's
good. So do you teach classes as well as do personal training, or how does that work?
Yes. So I do a variety of classes. They're all pretty much the same thing: alpha strength, alpha conditioning. That's me on a Saturday class. But I do the personal training as well. I'm mostly just doing personal training at my house now instead of just at Summerlin. So I'm exclusively doing classes at Summerlin, and I stopped doing the personal training at Summerlin, and now I'm just doing them at my house.
I see. I was going to show, this is a video. We're going to share a couple of videos here. By the way, Megan is on TikTok. She's on Instagram. And she's on YouTube, and we'll give you her contact information later where you can watch. She posts these videos like this all the time, and they're pretty entertaining. So here's one I want to show right. Now that looks like hard work. That you got kettlebells there, and you're doing I don't know, what do you call that exercise?
Split squat, yeah. Split squat or Bulgarian split squats. There's multiple names for the same thing, it seems like these days.
Yeah. And then I was going to show this video here. This is you. I guess this is with one of your classes. You can comment after. Now, what kind of class was that?
So that was more than likely an alpha strength class, and that was so we have a warm up, usually 2 strength blocks, and then a metabolic conditioning like Metcon at the end. It's like more of a cardio burst. So that was probably what they were doing at the very end, was a little bit of rowing. So
now, how do you recommend classes for people that want to work out? Like, I mean, what's the advantage of doing a class rather than just working out on your own?
Yeah, I believe that you're gonna work 10 times harder in a class than you would individually. And there's also a plan, like a whole program that is revolved around, what people need. And people that just work out on their own, they're just, it's a lot of guesswork. So the classes are a really great start for people to kind of get immersed into working out.
Yeah, Janis says, great teacher. She used to kick my butt.
This is super fun. Yeah.
So are you the type of trainer or whatever that is really like tough on the people you're training, or do you kind of judge what the person's personality is and what they can take and all that?
Yeah, I think I treat people the way they want to be treated. If somebody really wants that extra push, then I'll give it to them. But my whole, philosophy is safety, because, as I mentioned before, I've hurt my back. So safety is always the first and foremost thing that I think about when it comes to people. And I always say to people, meet your body where it's at and be happy with it. So, we really need to make sure that we, are realistic with ourselves too. So we, can continue.
Yeah, exactly. Janis says, I agree. I'm more determined in a class than by myself. Yeah, she goes to a Zumba class. She just went yesterday, and she hadn't been for a while because she's been out of town. But the class, actually, they post a photo, and I see it on Facebook of everybody at the workout, which is kind of fun. Do you do similar type things?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the great thing about classes too, is if you're really, wanting to meet extra people or make friends in the camaraderie of the class, it really helps bring that energy. It's super fun and motivating, and it makes working out a little bit more tolerable than just doing it by yourself. But it really depends on your personality, because John, for example, he loves working out alone. But for me, I'm a little bit more social, and I like to, talk to people and, all that good stuff.
Speaking of John, I've got this photograph here that I was going to add. There you are, lifting John.
Yes. I need to make sure I can still do that. I need to maybe test that out later today.
Yeah, John is he's about 6'4", I think, and he's definitely well built, and he works out a lot. I was going to show now another video that you shared with me, and this is the two of you.
Yes. Jumping plyo lunges.
And you've got, what, are those 45-pound plates that you're holding on to?
For him, it would definitely be a 45-pound plate. Mine looks like probably 25-pound on each side.
Oh my God, that looks like it hurts.
Yeah, so it's on the front and back. Yeah.
What's the pack? Is that what's holding the plate in place?
Yeah, it's an unusual type of. Yeah, it's like an unusual vest where there's like a screw, and you can put it in there and then screw the plate in so it's secure. So we actually haven't used that in a while. Actually, John.
And then is that at your house? Like you guys work out at your house, obviously. Too,
Yes,
right?
yeah. John loves working out at home. I always call him Batman because he likes being alone and in his little lair by himself. So it's good.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And there they are, the two of you. And of course, uh, you know, I guess this is one Halloween. You guys dressed up as Superman and Superwoman or Supergirl or whatever, right?
That's Supergirl. So actually, the comics, they're actually cousins. So it was kind of funny because we're obviously married and we're not cousins. So it was kind of funny. Some of my friends were making fun of me about it because they were like, "Oh, it's so funny." But
It's a cute idea for a costume and all that because you guys are both, so you work out a lot and you're great fitness examples and stuff. So that's a cute photograph there. And that brings me to something that I wanted to promote here. John also, he's a nutritionist, right? And he works in nutrition. And he developed a product that we sell on our channel here, and it's called Outback. It's Janis's company, Outback Naturals. It's a joint formula, and it's you take the capsules or whatever, and it's complete care for your joints. Can you tell people a little bit about it?
yeah, so I know it helps a lot with inflammation. The turmeric and collagen help rebuild your joints. I remember I went to a physical therapist once, and he was saying that he takes a joint formula actually to help with inflammation and for like he'll take some, and then the next day you won't be as sore after like a heavy workout. And I've tested that out, and I think it definitely helps. I know a lot of people that swear by it. People love it. I love it too. Everyone likes it.
Yeah, I have some. I use it every once in a while too. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, and there's a lot of people that suffer from sore joints, from arthritis, and from working out or just a everyday life, and it actually does help get rid of that inflammation, which is the important thing, and it allows the healing, to occur as well. Anyway, if you're interested in ordering some joint formula, all you have to do is go down below. I've got it tagged in our video description at our merchandise store. You just click on there and you can order it and we'll ship it out to you and that type of thing, along with um, Koala Calm, which is the magnesium drink that Janis has and sells. So we have both of those products there. And Janis says in the comments, she says, I take it every evening. Yes, she does. Janis is very active between riding horses, swimming. She swims now with, summertime in her pool, and the Zumba class, and then running around with her granddaughter, Elizabeth. I mean, and her two dogs. She keeps pretty active. So
Yeah.
we had we had a viewer just in town last Monday, and they took us out to dinner, and they bought the joint formula because her husband wanted to try it, but the wife also is taking it. She said for her arthritis, so we'll get some reviews on that and see how that works out. So if anybody's interested in the joint formula, all you have to do is go down below, click on it, and we'll get it shipped out to you. So I just wanted to mention that to
Yeah, I know my mom.
John. John was involved in developing that, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I know my mom, she had her ACL surgery on her knee and she takes it
Oh,
every
that's right.
day since she got that surgery, which was like probably about 2 years ago now.
Mhm.
And yeah, it helped a lot with her recovery from the surgery as well. So that's a cool little point.
That's great. That's great. Now I want to ask you about living in Las Vegas because you've been here, what, since 2018, did you say?
Yes.
What are your impressions of Las Vegas? How do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I think it's an amazing place to live. There's very low traffic too compared to other places. In Orlando is crazy, and it's only getting worse, because so many people want to live in these big cities. So when I first moved here, I was like, wow, there's like no traffic. It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like that when you move from California too.
yes, I know I know. On I-4 in Orlando, people would always call it a parking lot because it literally
Uh,
was just like a parking lot. So we're very lucky in that regard. Like, I understand, like, over by the airport, there can be a lot of traffic. I know my dad, he works at the airport and there can be traffic, but I don't think it's anything compared to other places.
No, it's easy to get around. There's always another route to go. Make a joke though because I'm on the road all the time, and it seems like we have the orange cones and the orange traffic barrels. They're like the state flower of Nevada because they're everywhere. You can turn on another road, and there's another paving project or another project going on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a great thing because, and also the structure of the city with all the cross streets, like
Mhm.
it's very easy to know where things are.
Yeah,
I
it's like a grid. It's a
Yeah,
grid, north, south, east, west. So like literally, if you go past a turn, you just can turn right, and come right back to it again. It's pretty easy.
yeah, that's definitely not a thing in Florida. There's too many lakes everywhere, so people gotta get really creative with the roads.
I understand. Now, what do you like to do? What do you and John like to do here in Las Vegas?
We love to go hiking. We've been to the state park. We go down to the strip every once in a while to, we went to the art museum, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. John, every once in a while, sees things like on Instagram to do, and then we'll go do it. And it's a great time.
How about the 24-hour nature of the town? Do you like the fact you can go to the store if you need to?
Yeah. Yeah, that's super, super convenient. I usually try not to stay out too late, but if you needed it, it's there. So that's always a convenient aspect.
Yeah, and there's another aspect that I like. I've been here now 34 years, a long time, right? You don't ever, your relatives will all come visit you. You know what I mean? Your friends will all come visit you because you live in Las Vegas, right? So it makes it a lot easier to stay connected.
Yeah, definitely. We've had one of my mom's siblings, her younger brother, he's come here like, I don't even know, like multiple times for work. And then he was actually just at the Wynn this past week, and my mom went down there to go visit him, and the pool's amazing. I was like, oh man, I wish I could have gone, but it's an amazing experience. It's something like unlike anything else in the world, I would say, it's a very cool, all the hotels.
Yeah. I just wanted to welcome Mary Kay London is here. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hi, Mary Kay. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. She's a member of our channel, so I wanted to welcome her. The other thing, too, I didn't get a chance to post I tried posting the video, but I saw a TikTok video that you posted of you punching a punching machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew immediately where it was because it's in a bar. It's in my favorite bar that I hang out in. Tell the story about that. It's Hogs and Heifers. I knew immediately where you were. How did that happen?
I know, it's so funny. Like, there's like one little corner of the bar, and you're like, "Oh, I know exactly where she is." That's so funny. But yeah, last weekend. So yeah, last Saturday we went out for a birthday party for one of my friends from the gym, and it was a pedal bar. And so you bar hop on this little pedal.
Oh, it's like a bicycle thing, right? That you go around downtown. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. We had such a great time, and that was the last bar we went to, and there's like this punching thing, and some people were saying that it was probably broken because the girls were getting basically similar scores as the guys were, and then the guys would walk away because they were like, no, this hurts.
Oh no, it's not. It's that machine's been there for years. I've been going to that bar for 15 years, and it's been there. And it can be very embarrassing. Like, I don't think I've ever punched it because I didn't want to punch it in front of everybody and get like a 300 score. I mean, you got like almost a 900, right? I mean, that's like kind of the top score. And it's a punching bag, and you hit it as hard as you can, and then it registers how hard you hit the doggone thing.
Yeah. It was really fun. I felt really strong there for a minute.
Strong. You should, after all the weight training and your personal fitness and all that sort of thing. It's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Vegas is a great place for people. There's lots to do and lots to see. And one of the things that I saw in your photo, so I thought we would feature it, is that you and John went to the Art Museum Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell us about that. I mean, this is it right here, and it's relatively new, and it's located in the Aria Hotel, which is, I'll show you a little map here. This is Las Vegas Boulevard going north-south, and then that's Harmon going east-west. But the Art Museum, it's in a new building that was built at the Aria. And how did you hear about it? And, tell people about it.
Yeah, so John was the one that saw a post about it on Instagram, and it was a kind of cool little interactive room. You walk through multiple different rooms, and there's, like the little aurora with the ocean. It was really pretty. But one of the other rooms.
That's you sitting there, right? You and John?
Yes, yeah, that's the both of us there. I think it was one of the last few rooms. It took probably about an hour, maybe a little over that, to get through the whole entire museum. But one of the rooms that he saw on Instagram that really inspired us to want to go there was there's these pieces of paper with little animals on it, and you take a sheet of paper and there's this drawing section, and you can draw whatever you want on it or write up, there's crayons and stuff. And then you put it into the machine, and there's this huge projector on like 2 walls, and then it scans it in, and then there's all these cute little animals walking around in this forest like this, and you're like, oh, I drew that kind of, so it was a cool little interactive thing. A lot of kids would love it. I loved it too, though. So, it could be for adults as well.
So is it like you're just in a room and then they're projecting these images? Is that what it's like on the floor and on the walls and the ceiling?
Yes. And it's it's constantly moving.
Uh-huh.
There's one room that was like the seasons. So there would be a spring one, and then summer and fall and winter.
Is this one water coming towards you, or what is that?
No, but it looks like it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty trippy how it's kind of this illusion that, it looks like it's going to come and crash onto you, but it doesn't. So
Yeah, and this is kind of cool. There's a couple of places like this in Vegas now. But when it first opened, I remember there were long lines to get in here to see it, and I haven't been there yet, so I'm interested in going to see it as well. It's called the Art Museum in Las Vegas. Now, there's another area called Area 15. Have you guys ever been to that?
yes, we have been there. Yeah.
That's another kind of sort of interactive visual type thing, right?
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff there. We haven't been in a really long time, but we did the virtual reality. We would put all these like gear on we did that for his birthday, and you would like put on the goggles and you're in this whole nother world. And yeah, they have a few things like that down there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's gotten so popular that they're actually building another building to add more to it. When they first were building this thing, you could see it from the freeway, and it just said Area 15 coming in. You go, what is this? And it's just a huge building, a warehouse type thing. And then when it opened up, it's got all these different virtual worlds and things that you can go in, and it's become very popular, for tourists and stuff. And so, like I said, now there's other restaurants and bars that have been built by it, and then they're building a whole nother area next to it, which is kind of cool. Do you and John play miniature golf?
We haven't, but I know that there's the new Tiger Woods one. And
That's what I was just going to mention if you hadn't heard about it.
yes, we've been wanting to go. I know it's been very hot recently, so we've kind of held off on going. But I've had friends that have gone, and they said it was awesome. So I've definitely.
It's an outdoor miniature golf course, but with a bar and a restaurant. So it's kind of like Top Golf is for golf.
Mhm.
Have you ever been to Top Golf?
Actually haven't, which is so weird. It's been like on my
Yeah, I haven't either, but it's popular all over the country. Top Golf is like basically a golf driving range with bars and food, and they have all these games where you hit the ball towards different things, and it's kind of real interactive and stuff. Well, they're doing the same thing with the miniature golf too, so make it kind of interactive. But you're right, it is hot. Now, one thing I did notice when I drove by it though is they've got fans and misters. You know how misters are; they blow water out and stuff. Obviously, because it's going to be very hot in the summertime, but that helps to reduce the heat a little bit, which is kind of nice. Which brings me to my next question I was going to ask you, because you lived in Orlando in Florida. Which do you prefer, the hot, humid Florida heat or the dry heat of Las Vegas?
Well, that's a tough question, but I am always going to go with Orlando in Florida because that's like my little home.
Uh-huh.
I just really love Florida because of how lush and beautiful it is there. But it is extremely convenient, like not having to worry about mold as much here, because it is very, very wet. That is for sure. So it's definitely easier to take care of stuff, I would say, here than it is there. But if I had to choose one, I think I would choose Orlando.
Okay, now what about bugs? Florida's full of bugs. Palmetto bugs, I don't know if anybody's heard of those, the little flying cockroaches and stuff. They're kind of freaky in Florida. We don't really have too many bugs here in Vegas, do we?
No, just a lot of grasshoppers.
Yeah.
They're called, right? Yeah, grasshoppers.
Yeah, the cicadas or whatever they have them that come from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of bugs in Orlando or just in Florida in general. So, but I think the houses are kind of built because they're made out of concrete. They're a little bit that extra layer of protection. Mm-hmm. And if you get it sprayed, like I don't really remember seeing that many bugs. So it just kind of depends on how much you get it sprayed.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay, I was going to show this next here. Okay, we're ready to sort of move on here. It's Megan, this is you here, and then you're a strong fitness instructor, lifetime fitness Summerlin instructor and personal trainer, and strength and conditioning coach, and then AFAA CPT. What does that mean?
So it's AFA. It's associated with NASM. It's just company that gives out personal training certification. So CPT stands for Certified Personal Trainer, and that's just like the way I got my personal training certification.
Okay. And then if somebody would like to hire you as a personal trainer or come to one of your classes, how can they do that? How can they contact you? I've got your contact information, but what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, so they can always email or like call me, so that I have you can DM me, I guess, on Instagram or TikTok, but email address is right there, so you could always contact that. Or if you want to take one of my classes, the easiest way would be to going to the Lifetime location, and then you can get a day pass, and then you can go to one of my classes as long as you're going in the right time. You'd have to look at the class schedule before time, because I'm not there 24/7, but I do teach a good amount of classes, but not that many.
Yeah, and describe Lifetime Fitness to everybody. It's almost like a country club, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of the whole theme and way that they're trying to be, rebrand themselves as a country club. They actually call it a club. So I know the first time I
It's
went,
not just a gym. It's not just a gym. They have swimming pools, right? Outdoor swimming pools, right? What else do they have? They have all sorts of stuff there.
they have so many things. It's like 10 businesses in one. There's so many different departments. So there's the Kids Academy, which is actually how I started working at Lifetime. I got a job at the Kids Academy. And then I saw the fitness classes, and I was like, oh, I should be doing this too. So then I did both all summer, and then eventually I left the Kids Academy because I got paid doing more at the group fitness classes. But yeah, so there's the Kids Academy, getting back on track. There's the swimming. There's swimming clubs for the kids, and then there's water classes for adults. There's
Do they have rock climbing?
There's rock climbing. That's very much to do with the Kids Academy, but adults are more than welcome to do it at any time as well. There's the Lifetime Cafe, so there's a restaurant in there. There's the spa, so if you want to get a massage or a facial or get your hair cut, that's where I get my haircut. So yeah, it's a pretty much a all-in-one location. It has so many things to offer.
And then I've seen parties there too, because like your mother and you, like costume parties and stuff, right? Don't they have group gatherings?
Yes. So we have a designated event coordinator who plans, oh my gosh, she plans so much stuff. There's something going on almost, it seems like every week, and then a big thing like every single month. So yeah, there's always something going on.
Yeah. Well, that's at Lifetime Fitness. Like she said, in Summerlin is where you work at, but there's also one down in Green Valley, and then there's soon going to be one near Durango, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to mention here's Megan's contact information. She's on TikTok. Okay. Like I said, she puts up videos on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So you should subscribe to her channel. Her YouTube channel is at MurphyM94. Okay. And then you should watch her on Instagram. You can, at Megan.GradyFitness. And then on TikTok, she puts videos up there all the time. It's at Megan Grady 8, and you can follow her there. And I know you'd appreciate having people subscribe to you, right?
Yes, definitely. I'm trying to grow it up, and so it would be cool for you to be an OG or an original subscriber. You want support me.
Exactly. And it also helps to build your business and that type of thing. And then, like as I mentioned before, if anybody is interested in, the joint formula or Koala Calm or anything like that, all you have to do is go down in the video description. There's a link to our merchandise store where you can order it. And, Janis gets the stuff shipped out right away, and Koala Calm as well. And, so that can help and be beneficial for people as well. Anyway, I would like to thank Megan. I'd like to thank you for being here on the show. It's been a lot of fun. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I definitely enjoyed it. I want to thank you for having me. It was definitely happy to be here.
No, it's your delight, and I know Janis and their whole family. They really enjoy having you part of their family as well. So, anyway, I just wanted to thank you for being here. Before I end off, I just wanted to mention people to please subscribe to my channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. Subscribe there, and also to our other channel, Peeling the Onion. And also on my Las Vegas Travel and More, I've launched memberships, so you can actually become a member of the channel. And I need to get a certain number of members, and then I get a bonus from YouTube and stuff. So it's only $2.99 to become a member. So all you have to do is on your PC or laptop, go to my Las Vegas Travel and More homepage. Right next to subscribe, there's a join button. You just click on that, follow the instructions, and I would really appreciate the support as I grow the channel and can do more content and stuff like that. So you can do that. If you have any questions or comments about anything we talked about here, just go down in the comments section down below. I check them all the time and I will answer them. And then also, another way you can support the channel is you can buy me a coffee. Go down again in the description. You can click on there. There's a way you can buy me a coffee. It's just another way to donate to the channel. The other thing I forgot to mention is that all of Megan's contact information, links to her YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, they're all in the video description down below. All you have to do is scroll down if you didn't get a chance to write it down, and you can click on it, and it's right there for you as well to make it convenient for you. Okay? Well, I wanted to thank you all for being here today. Okay, I want to thank Janis for being here today, and Mary Kay London and the other viewers that are here. And Megan, I want to thank you for being here.
Yay, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Fantastic. All right. Well, until next time, everybody, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.